Hello, welcome to another mathematics lesson. Today we'll be looking at decimals, and under that we are looking at changing decimal fractions to common fractions. Let's quickly do a revision with our table here. From the table we have tens and ones, and then we move on to tens, hundreds, thousands, and it continues. So the whole numbers continues to the left side, the fractions to the right side, and they are separated by the decimal point. Let's look at some examples here. We have this number which is read as 2.48. We have the whole number which is 2 and the fraction which is 48 separated by the decimal point. So this is a decimal number, 2.48. This is read as 48 because it is a fraction and not a whole number. We can't read it as 48. So 2.48. Let's look at another example. This can be read as 1.36, a whole number and then the fraction. We have 0.042. So this is how we read decimal numbers. When you are reading, make sure the digits after the decimal point are read individually. That's right. Let me draw your attention to number of decimal places too. From 1, we have 2.48. Number of digits after the point gives us the decimal places. So here we have 2 decimal places, that is 48. Here too we have 2 decimal places, 36. In number 3, we have 3 decimal places, that's 042. Alright, so this is a quick revision. Now let's move on and change from decimal fractions to percentages. Let's take some examples. All right, so we are going to go through these 3 examples. First, to get our numerator, we look at the number of digits we have after the decimal point. That gives us the numerator. So we have 7 here. And to get the denominator, we look at the last decimal digit. In example 1, we have 7. And that is the tens. It falls under the tens. So the denominator is 10. Coming to the second example, 0.34. So number of digits to give us the numerator, that is 34. Out of the last digit here, so we start reading from the decimal point, we have tens and then hundreds. So that helps us to get our denominator. We come to 3, 2.48. The first number is a whole number, so write your 2 boldly and then move on to your fraction. We have 48, which is the numerator, and then the last decimal digit here, which is the 8, we have it as the hundreds because we have tens here and then the hundreds here. So the denominator is going to be 100. Don't forget that anytime you have a whole number, the whole number should be written first, then you have your fraction after it. Let's look at more examples. All right, we have 3.463. So our whole number first, we take our number of digits we have. Out of 3, which is the last decimal digit, is in the hundreds. 3 is in the thousands. Let's count from here. We have tens, hundreds, and thousands. So this is under thousand. Right, I believe you are following. Let's take another example. Wow, now we have 4 digits here. So let's write our 4 digits. 4, 2, 3, 6. Out of what? Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So here is going to be 10,000. And then it continues on and on and on. So you know what? You can write any decimal number yourself and try getting the numerator and the denominator. And that is how we get common fractions from decimal fractions. Let's take the last example. 0.462. So let's take our number 462. The 2 here is what is going to help us get the place value. So we start from here, tens, hundreds, thousands, which is going to be 1,000. Let me draw your attention to this by giving you the last example. I have 0.04. So we have the 2 digits here, right? So 04 out of the 4 is the place value we need. So tens, hundreds. So 04 out of 100. I'm drawing your attention to this 0. We can also write it as 4 out of 100 because the 0 before the